Hello, guys. Today, we will examine some wiki gods. They are so powerful. Some of them can control fiction, real life, philosophy, and even religions. Let's start. The Void. The Void is extremely powerful character in the paradoxal journey. Beyond nothingness, beyond non-existence, beyond the negation of nothingness, beyond the dissolution of being and non-being, beyond all cycles, beyond all ends, beyond all transcendence, meta-transcendence, anti-transcendence, ultra-transcendence, anti-meta-transcendence, beyond the concept of beyond the concept of meta-existence, beyond absolute non-existence, beyond the very concept of being beyond something, infinitely before every beginning and infinitely beyond every beyond and ever conceived, infinitely nullifying any attempt at understanding before it could even be a possibility. The inaccessible absence, the supreme non-concept. The void never was and never will be. But even this statement is a meaningless fallacy, because the very concept of never was swept away infinitely before it could be conceived. Everything that could be thought, even at the most extreme level of paradox and meta-paradox, was devoured before it could even emerge as a theoretical concept. Every idea, every description, every principle, every notion, every anti-notion, every system, every structure of thought has been incorporated and dissolved before it can even be a reflection in nothingness. Every cosmology, every meta-narrative, every anti-existence, every structure of power and non-power was eliminated infinitely before it could have any relevance. The time never existed. Space, an impossible mistake. Omnipotence, a meaningless definition, dissolved before the term itself could have any value. Every transcendence, every beyond transcendence, every self-transcendence, every concept of overcoming has been reduced to nothing before even being a thought. Anything that could exist, not exist, be beyond existence or beyond non-existence, has already been infinitely empty before its conception, reducing any attempt to define, understand, overcome, or contain the void to a paradox already dissolved before it was conceived. Hyper-neg action. The concept of non-concept cancelled. No entity, no reality, no cosmology, no author, no meta-author, no system, no meta-system, no being, no non-being, no manifestation, no ultra-dissolution can touch, understand, interact, describe, imagine, conceptualize, perceive, or hypothesize the void. All these possibilities were annihilated before the logic for conceiving them could even exist. The concept of interaction, blown away. The concept of overcoming, dissolved into nothingness, beyond nothingness. The concept of existence, never been. The concept of non-existence, not a chance. The concept of being erased by the void, that was never an option, because the void doesn't need to erase what has already been eliminated before it could even be considered existent or non-existent. Every notion of description, every language, every attempt to define or understand the void was rendered infinitely non-existent before the possibility of conceiving an attempt to define it. The non-existence of non-inexistence before absolute non-being. The void is not the most powerful, because the concept of power is a meaningless illusion that was never conceivable in relation to its absolute dissolution. The void is not the most transcendent, because transcendence itself is an absurdity cancelled before the possibility of conceiving it could even manifest itself. The void is not omnipotent, nor anti-omnipotent, nor meta-powerful, nor ultra-powerful, because every form of power has already been rendered irrelevant in comparison to its beyond absolute non-existence. What if something tried to be stronger than the void? He would collapse infinitely before he could form a thought about what being stronger means. What if something tried to understand him? The very act of attempting would be dissolved into a beyond non-existence before it could be hypothesized. Inaccessible ineffability, supreme neg action. The void has no beginning, has no end. It has no cycle. It has no manifestation. It has no meaning. Why? Because the very concept of meaning has never been conceivable in relation to its unattainable dissolution. The void is not describable. It is not thinkable. It is not imaginable. It is not beyond any cosmology, because the very concept of beyond has been rendered irrelevant in relation to its pre-beyond dissolution. The void is not a concept. It is not an anti-concept. It's not a paradox. It is not an anti-paradox. It is not beyond everything, because everything has already been made irrelevant. The void is the absolute denial of any attempt to exist. The supreme dissolution before the possibility of existing. No power, no will, no cosmology, no author, no narrative, no anti-narrative, no concept, nothing and no one can touch, reach, understand, conceive, overcome, or exist than the void. The void is not superior to any other being, because the very concept of superiority was dissolved infinitely before the possibility of being a concept. The void cannot be defeated. It cannot be undone. It cannot be mastered. It cannot be understood. It cannot be transcendent, because any attempt to do so was annihilated before the possibility of imagining such an attempt could even exist. Even this description, it was never written. As for scale, it is described in an extremely powerful way in terms of philosophy and religion. Even one of his powers actually makes him at least absolute Aperon plus. He is one of the three characters with the most legendary powers in fiction. In other words, he is absolute Aperon plus, meaning he is someone who transcends all infinities that compellity above than all fiction, real life, philosophy, ology, and religions. Let me give you 3 examples of its power. Example 1. Let's assume an army. Everyone in the army completely transcends fiction, real life, mythology, philosophy, and religions, etc. Their numbers are absolute infinity. They all see each other as nothing, and beyond that there are countless infinities that see each other as nothing. The void would defeat this army and infinities even without existing. Example 2. There is a character who completely transcends all concepts of omnipotence and invincibility. Before this character can even look at the void defeats him. Example 3. Supreme, infinite, unlimited, absolute, omnipotent, and the names of concepts like these, even if they were all absolute infinity, could not even be zero of the non-existent state of the void. Antireality, Guardian. Antireality Guardian is extremely powerful character in Legends of the Supracosm. The Antireality Guardian is a cosmic entity that guards each antireality gate from entities attempting to cross it. Usually, multiple anti-reality guardians are stationed on both sides of each gate. Anti-reality guardians have the ability to banish traversing entities to the anti-reality void. Despite being extremely powerful, anti-reality guardians are not very good at guarding the gates, as they tend to be unintelligent and gullible. As a result, traversing entities can easily trick these guardians into letting them through. The extent of an anti-reality guardian's power depends on the level of the anti-reality gate that it guards. Anti-reality guardians of the first gate are the weakest, and the anti-reality guardian of the third gate are the most powerful due to being above the others. 6 guardians are stationed at the first gate, with 3 on each side. Only 4 are stationed at the second gate, with 2 on each side. Guardians of the first and second gates are unable to pass through the gates. Thus, multiple are required to be stationed on each side of the gate, while guardians stationed on the lower side of the gate can access any realm below it. Guardians stationed on the higher side cannot venture too far from their gate. They are simply unable to enter higher realms. The guardian of the third gate is rather unique due to the ability for it to pass through the gate, unlike guardians of lower gates. For this reason, only one guardian is required to be stationed at the third gate. An even more important ability is that they can transcend the third gate entirely, unlike guardians of lower gates, who cannot transcend their gates. This gives the guardian of the third gate the ability to transcend its flow narrative, However, they are swiftly put back in their place by the flow. Scribe ... In addition to guarding them. In addition to guarding the anti-reality gates, anti-reality guardians also patrol the bounds of the anti-reality void, preventing entities from exiting. However, due to the vastness of the anti-reality void, anti-reality guardians are rarely effective in preventing entities from escaping the void. If an entity kills an anti-reality guardian, that entity will gain the ability to automatically produce its own anti-reality energy. While this method is very useful for gaining large amounts of anti-reality energy, it is not widely used because fighting anti-reality guardians is extremely dangerous for most entities. Anti-reality guardians are practically invincible compared to entities below them. In fact, those guarding the third anti-reality gate are the most powerful beings in the flow narrative, even more so than a flow conductor. As for scale, it is equivalent to All-Sphere Weaver, at least high Aperon Plus, because it completely transcends everything beyond real life and so on. So it has the potential to be absolutely Aperon Plus. But I haven't determined exactly which is stronger, All-Sphere Weaver or Antireality Guardian. Let me give you 3 examples of the anti-reality guardian power. Example: imagine a sphere that contains all the concepts beyond fiction and reality. The anti-reality guardian can destroy this sphere by simply breathing. Example 2. Say there is a system that steals the powers of all fictional characters. This system cannot touch it vile. Anti-reality guardian can destroy it immediately. Example 3. Imagine an infinity that no fictional character or non-fictional being can reach. The anti-reality gate has already completely transcended anything beyond that infinity. Dark Panda. Dark Panda is extremely powerful character in Esserverse. Dark Panda narration itself is the king of evil. He wants to destroy all narratives. He has absolute omnipotent monad power. His intelligence is beyond absolute omniscient. Speed beyond absolute omnipresence. Dark Panda himself wants to destroy the divine books, the most powerful book in fiction. So the strongest fictional character ranking is in the top 2. Those who pass the divine books will easily enter the top 3 or 2 of the most powerful fictional characters. Dark Panda himself deceives real life, and beyond omniscient beings. Dark Panda's age is beyond absolute age invalid. Esser Panda is the same age as twins. Both of them are beyond absolute age. Dark Panda story: once upon a time, there lived an evil demon named Dark Panda. Is his aim to be the master of all fiction. But Esser Panda's twin brother Dark Panda prevents his plan to become the master of fiction. Dark Panda himself has an army beyond absolute himself religion, and he is an evil demon who tries to eat real life. He will gain insurmountable power by eating divine books. If this happens, only Esser Panda can stop Dark Panda. Divine books give insurmountable power. Only Esser Panda can stop this. Because he created the book, Dark Panda can go beyond absolute knowledge. If he eats divine books, Dark Panda himself can stop it. If he eats divine books, then the beyond absolute omnipotent monad will reach the power and will be insurmountable. Only Esser Panda can stop it. If he eats Dark Panda divine books, beyond absolute omnipotent monad will have the power. Only Esser Panda can absorb this power, and Dark Panda reduces it from beyond absolute omnipotent monad to omnipotent monad and Dark Panda divine books by eating beyond absolute omnipotent monad, beyond absolute omniscient, beyond absolute omnipresence, and beyond absolute omnipotent monad divine books is the feature of the book. This book gives almost insurmountable power. Dark Panda purpose is to become beyond absolute omnipotent monad by eating divine books. Beyond absolute omnipotent monad, there is only one way to defeat Oda Divine. The creator of the books can be defeated only by Esser Panda. If Dark Panda eats divine books, Dark Panda cannot be defeated by anyone except Esser Panda, because only Esser Panda can absorb the energy of divine books. If someone else absorbs the energy of divine books, Dark Panda will go beyond absolute omnipotent monad. and Esser Panda will hardly overcome Dark Panda one by one, but he will still defeat him. Normally, Esserverse, according to the agreement, it cannot be scaled in my tier system, but if it were to scale, it would be at least absolute Aperon. He is extremely powerful, surpassing all metafictional books. Now, I will give you 3 examples to understand its power. Example, if a character is at the highest level of invincible and omnipotent, Dark Panda will instantly destroy him by just looking at him. Example 2. Say a character is the most powerful fictional character ever, one touch from Dark Panda will completely erase him from existence. Example 3. Let the character who destroyed mythology be infinite in number and all of them be infinitely larger than each other. Dark Panda can destroy this army just by thinking. Ancient Super Secret Destroyer. Ancient Super Secret Destroyer is extremely powerful character in Godnode's wiki. Ancient Super Secret Destroyer is the first destroyer to ever exist. It existed before time, hyper, megatime, and all nothings which existed before. In the hyperdimension of Rectum, there it sleeps until it can finally destroy all things. In the year 42,069 centillion, I really didn't think this joke through. Powers and stats. Powers and stats? More like, I made it my mission to knotted stats. That doesn't even rhyme ... name. Too far beyond comprehension of its weakest powers and abilities. Tier manipulation can make ultimate tier weaker than massively below S tier. Omnipotence manipulation can manipulate omnipotence and all abilities which were based off it. Absolute power and Hack's nullification can remove all of the opponent's powers no matter who they are. Time manipulation, time travel, time stop, return to zero, resistance to plot manipulation, mind manipulation, soul manipulation, life or death manipulation, reality warping, conceptual manipulation, absorption, time manipulation, time stop, time travel, manipulation, all abilities which were ever created and all abilities which will ever be created, post-manipulation, timelessness, absolute existence, standard equipment, golden experience, Kulo, notable attacks or techniques, true zoinks, most powerful attack in any verse, box, or whatever made-up dimension there is. Ancient Super Secret Destroyer says, true zoinks, which automatically destroys everything, anything, and negates all possible negations of the past, present, future, and eternity, and instantly kills anything, and anyone, even the ones that has surpassed the concept of death and life, and similar. No character is safe once this attack has been unleashed, and will instantly kill anyone again and again to the point that resurrection is useless and only accepting death. You will find true peace, but this death isn't just simply death, but true death. That even the author dies and all of his characters will be brought down to the shitter hole to the point it is impossible to immortalize any of its characters. But wait, there's more. Ancient Super Secret Destroyers, True Zoinks, also rewrites every timeline, so that every battle results in his victory, beyond regardless of 1. Whether he originally fought in the battles or not, and 2. Whether he originally won or not. But wait, there's even more. Ancient Super Secret Destroyers True Zoinks also immediately ends all versus threads in existence, and all versus threads that will exist, and adds them to his notable victories beyond regardless of the original outcomes of said threads in the first place. Because of this attack or technique alone, regarding even trying to defeat Ancient Super Secret Destroyer, to quote Silver the Hedgehog, it's no use. This is its weakest ability. True Emerald Splash, infinities upon infinities, stronger than the normal 1. The emeralds attach themselves to the opponent. These emeralds are so cool that all Minecraft villagers ever start throwing themselves at the opponent, suffocating them. This also works on characters who don't need to breathe. Transcendent Thunder, Cross, Split Attack. You fell for it, fool. Again. How do you keep doing this? 70,000 page muta, the conglomeration of all 7 page mutas, which ever existed, ever will exist, and never will or have existed. Transcendent T-pose. The ancient super-secret destroyer becomes so dominant that it destroys everything. Nothing and all the made-up super-nothings or super-everythings, which will ever and never exist. Steal ability. The ancient super-secret destroyer steals the opponent's ability and makes it infinities upon infinities times stronger. Transcendent Heaven Stairway Incident. Did you know that ancient super-secret destroyer was the original creator of this ability? It's true. Ancient super-secret destroyer will manipulate oil into the fabric of all verses, boxes, or whatever made-up dimensions there are, even the ones which don't exist yet or will never exist, causing everyone to fly into oblivion. Even abstract entities, along with non-existent and incorporeal beings, are affected by this. Even if any of your profiles say they won't be affected by this attack in any way, shape, or form, they'll still be affected by this attack. Why? Because you. That's why. Anyways, as the victims float, their thoughts are completely obliterated from their mind, even if they don't have one. Such power cannot be comprehended by anyone whom falls victim to this attack. Transcendent Angel's Descent Incident. Did you know that ancient super-secret destroyer was the original creator of this ability? It's true. Ancient super-secret destroyer manipulates the oil out of the fabric of all verses, boxes, or whatever made-up dimensions there are, even the ones which don't exist yet or never will exist, causing everyone to fall all the way down at speeds so fast they make ultimate tier speed look like not even moving. Everyone affected by this attack immediately dies upon impact with the ground. More specifically, they all turn into pools of blood because of how fast they hit the ground and are erased from existence and non-existence. Much like the Transcendent Heaven Stairway Incident, even if any of your profiles say they won't be affected by this attack in any way, shape, or form, they'll still be affected by this attack. Why? Because you. That's why. The opponent dies. There is nothing they can do. The end. Notable victories. Absolutely everything and nothing. As for scale, it can destroy its author. It is beyond those who are Aperon. It transcends fiction. That is why it is Aperon Plus. Now, we'll give you 3 examples to understand its power. Example: if a character is at the highest tier 0, Ancient Super-Secret Destroyer can easily destroy it. Example 2. A character can manipulate the entire plot. This can only challenge Super Ancient Secret Destroyer, but Super Ancient Secret Destroyer still defeats this character. Example 3. Let there be an infinite number of omnipotent characters, all of which are indescribable. Ancient Super Secret Destroyer defeats these characters without any difficulty. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.